Look, I really want the PS4, PS5 port of Black Ops 2 to be real because there's way too many of you who never actually played this masterpiece. You need to be enlightened. I mean, there are really people out there who think the maps in the post-Warzone era of COD are quality. Meanwhile, they've never played a single match on Mirage. That's right. I'm willing to bet some of you actually did play Black Ops 2 back in the day, and you still never played on Mirage because it was a DLC map. We were all kind of cheapskates back then, so a lot of us didn't pay the extra bucks for more maps. But if you did pay extra buckaroos, backaroos, whatever you want to call them for the DLC, you remember Mirage. It was awesome. Mid-sized map, set on a desert resort, lots of crazy places to fight, both inside the main building of the resort and on the road surrounding it. Plus, there was a big drain swimming pool on the side of the map that basically, it was a giant kill pit. Nobody dared jump into it. But if you did, well, if you did and you survived, you were the best player in the lobby. Mirage has never been remade or remastered, but it was a ton of fun. Even though a lot of you probably don't remember it, those of you who do, you're probably shaking your head with me. Jimmy, you're right. One of the best maps in the game. And since we're talking about DLC maps, in case you didn't get the vibe here, we're doing the best Black Ops 2 maps. With Black Ops 2 Remastered on the horizon, I'm kidding, not remastered, enhanced, I thought it would be fitting. Let's go over the best maps. And a lot of you were probably a little confused, but I'm going to straighten you out today. Don't worry. Before we jump back in the video, I just got back from Spain, and this was on my doorstep. Today's video is powered and sponsored by Displate. Now, these aren't just posters. These feel like premium collection pieces. And the first thing that stood out was the packaging. Absolutely packaged for care and for you to be able to open these and experience. So I'm going to open for you guys. I'm going to show you all of the Displates that I got in this package, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to put these anywhere in your house and actually move them around, because you put stuff up, it gets boring. You want to be able to move it around and change it, and Displate makes it super easy. If you've never seen Displate before, they make premium metal posters featuring everything from gaming, movies, TV shows, anime, sports, pretty much any fandom you can think of. They have over 200 officially licensed collections from brands like Marvel, Star Wars, The Witcher, One Piece, and a ton more. Plus, artwork from thousands of independent artists. Now, one thing I really liked was just how much variety they have. You can spend hours browsing through the different designs on their website. Whatever your passion is, chances are there is a Displate for it. Whether you're into gaming, movies, sports, anime, or even wanting something unique, they've got tons of options. For me, my biggest interest are gaming and movies, so collections like Star Wars and Marvel are right up my alley. They also offer custom Displates, which they let you upload your own photos, gaming screenshots, artwork, personal designs, and you can turn them into premium metal posters. Now, another thing that's really cool is how easy they are to put up. No tools, no nails, no drilling holes in your wall, no getting in trouble. They use a magnetic mounting system that takes a few seconds to install, and if you ever decide to move them around later, you can just remove them without damaging the wall. That's honestly one of my favorite parts if you ever want to change up your setup or refresh the look of your room. Swap them around. It's easy. So we put Iron Man where Master Chief was, and now we need Master Chief to go where Iron Man was. Watch how easy this is. Are you ready? Here we go. Done. And once you get multiple Displates displayed together, that's when they start to make an impact. I went with the texture finish on it, which gives them a premium textured look and makes the artwork stand out even more in person. Now, if you're anything like me, seeing them all together on the wall, that's where it comes together. The room instantly feels more personalized and more like your space. So if you want to check them out for yourself, I'll have the link down at the top of the description and the pinned comment. And don't forget, use code CHAOS at checkout to save some money on your order. Huge thanks to Displate for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into it. At number 9, Rush, the paintball map. Did you know this map was actually designed for Greg Hastings' Paintball 2, but it was deemed too good and sold to Treyarch to be used as Black Ops 2 DLC? Yeah, that's not true. I made it up right now, but I probably had you going for a second. Rush is one of the few DLC maps from Black Ops 2 to actually get remade, so some of you may actually have played it in Black Ops Cold War, but I would argue it was even better in Black Ops 2 since it was actually designed for Black Ops 2. Very fast-paced map. Lots of interesting close-quarters arenas for you to fight in. The indoor section with all the inflatables, the outdoor sections with all the wood structures. It added some verticality to the experience. Now, still not sure how all the paintball structures were able to stay in one piece after taking hundreds of rounds from assault rifles as SMGs, but I'm willing to believe it for the sake of it being a really good map, and this was a really good map. I'm also willing to believe that many of you played this map back in the day. I am. Well, I know a lot of you played it in Black Ops Cold War, COD Mobile, but did you experience Black Ops 2's Rush? Now, a lot of DLC maps so far, right, in the list, which is a sign of just how good this DLC season was. Encore is another DLC map from Black Ops 2 that was never remade or remastered despite being fantastic. Takes place in a London amphitheater. You could run around the empty stands, the general admission area, and the stage itself was, I mean, everywhere. The backstage areas, it was fun. Lots of little Easter eggs, hidden details if you were willing to take a little time to look for them during a game or just load into a private match and look for them on your own time. I used to do that. That used to be a thing for my content. I used to be an Easter egg hunter. Encore was a unique map. Despite it being pretty big by Black Ops 2 standards, it was still pretty fast-paced because of how well all the lanes pushed both teams toward each other. And you had some pretty crazy fights in the middle of the map at the stage. So you could pretend you were at a death metal concert and you could murder each other in good fun, of course. And a lot of people don't remember this map at all. It was never brought back, so a bunch of you probably didn't even know it existed, but you do now. It's one of the best DLC maps from the best DLC season that I could think. It deserves some loves. And speaking of loves, and speaking of maps with a musical theme that we loved, the most famous rave map that was ever made. Maybe the only rave map. I don't know. Plaza. It was really loud if you went into the rave room in the middle, but it was eerily quiet everywhere else, complete with some really gorgeous nighttime coastal views. Now taking place on an upscale resort near the ocean. Plaza was a very long and narrow map with an old school 3-lane design. It complemented the pace of the game. Definitely rewards you for getting good with a sniper rifle or a long-range AR. If you could lock down one of the rooftops in Plaza and keep your back covered with a claymore, I know you did, you could dominate the entire match. But you always had to keep your head on a swivel because if someone was running hardwired, they would run up behind you, shove a combat knife up your butt, and then you were gone. And if you weren't trying to lock down one of the rooftops, chances are you were running around the side lanes and desperately trying to get to the top of the stairs in the middle of the map without actually taking the stairs in the middle of the map because they made you a sitting duck. Oh, the memories come flooding back. Plaza was brought back in Black Ops 7, yes. But I don't think that counts as a remake because nobody plays Black Ops 7. So yeah, this map was never brought back. And if Black Ops 2 gets ported to the new consoles, you guys are in for a treat. Speaking of treats, Cove. I think this is one of the most unique maps of the classic Call of Duty era. One giant circular arena, fight island. It was absolutely insane, despite it actually being one of the largest maps in the game in terms of square footage. Cove was a big circular death trap, surrounded by circular lanes that took you around it so you could find a new angle to enter the death pit from, and it was so much fun. If you could top the leaderboard in Cove, you could top the leaderboard absolutely anywhere because you earned it. And despite being one of the most ridiculous maps in the game, it never felt unbalanced or unpredictable. It was like a classic Quake or Halo map ported into Call of Duty and given a realistic coat of paint, and everybody loved it. And guess what? Yet another map that everybody loved and still never got remade, which makes no sense. How did the USS Texas get a remake over Cove? How did Zoo get a remake over Cove? Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. But it was a great map. Also, you could see Hijacked off in the distance with all the coordinates and the tack insert, all those Easter egg things that we used to do. Now we arrive at the top 5. Grind. Debuted as DLC in Black Ops 2, remade in Black Ops 4, Black Ops 6, Black Ops 7. So clearly Treyarch knows we like it, and to their credit, there's a good reason why they know that and think that, because it slaps. It does. Takes place at a skate park in Venice Beach. Yeah, has some of the most unique architecture in COD history. Ramps, grind rails, quarter pipes. It's like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater level was loaded into Call of Duty, and it worked. It worked well. In fact, I'm pretty sure you could port grind into a Tony Hawk game, and it would work. I wonder if somebody has actually done that, like in the modern world of PC game modding. I'm sure somebody has actually done it, but in this video about Call of Duty, more specifically Black Ops 2, and grind in Black Ops 2, it was an amazing map. Perfectly fast-paced, perfectly hectic without being too crazy, lots of personality. I mean, it was good. One of my favorite Treyarch maps ever. Another one of my favorite Treyarch maps ever, and yours too, Hijacked. Go-to place for 1v1s until Nuketown was added as free LDC, or DLC, right? Honestly, when it comes to super small, fast-paced maps in Black Ops 2, I think Hijacked is much better than Nuketown because the lanes are longer. It's more strategic with your flanking routes. The flow's better. Hijacked took place on a massive cruise ship in the middle of the international waters where if you stood over the side, you could probably see Cove. Had amazing sights and Easter eggs, as well as an extremely fast-paced layout that would never put you too far from the action after you spawned. Came back several times. Seen as one of the most iconic Black Ops maps ever, and I'm sure there will be some debate over which version was the best, but if we're talking about Black Ops 2, which we are, it was one of the best maps in the game. And as you may have noticed during this entry, I said this map was better than Nuketown. And since we're down into the top 5, you may have figured out by now, Nuketown's not on this list. You know why? Why? Because I think Nuketown sucks now. Let's move on. Studio. Faithful remake of Firing Range from Black Ops 1. I say faithful. Studio took the original map's layout and improved on it in some subtle ways. Layout kept exactly the same, but we got a new theme, better spawns, gameplay of Black Ops 2 was greatly improved upon Black Ops 1, so the map just played better. And who doesn't like a COD map where there's a giant animatronic dinosaur hanging out one of the spawn points? Seriously, Studio had all the hallmarks of a great map. And all the most iconic parts of classic Firing Range, the sniper tower, the moving targets by the trailer, the two-story buildings that stare at each other and dare you to capture one. It was perfect. People still argue about whether Studio or OG Firing Range was better. I think that's how you know it was a great remake. If people can't decide which version was better over a decade later, you did your job. Speaking of doing your job right, I want to give a nice firm handshake to whoever was in charge of designing Standoff. You guys did a phenomenal job. This is one of the most balanced maps in COD history, and yet it's often restyled in complete blowouts and domination because of how difficult the B flag was to capture. And you know what? I still think it makes it one of the most balanced maps in COD history. You're thinking, what? The map took place in the middle of a town with a bunch of two-story buildings and second-story windows, a sniper's best friend. So you had two options here. Option one, you tried to capture one of the second-story windows and you sniped the other team into oblivion. Option two, you ran around the back alleys and you tried to flank people that were holding those second-story windows. And I guess there was a third option, which was to run out in the streets and get shot from 20 different directions, but that's not an optimal strategy. Standoff was one of the most fun and balanced maps in COD history. The sheer number of power positions just all perfectly balanced each other. Plus, the flanking routes meant people in those power positions could not get too comfortable. And yet, I do think there was one Black Ops 2 map that did it better. And if you've been paying attention, which I think most of you have, you already know. Out of all the original maps from Black Ops 2, Raid has to be the one that gets remade the most. Super fast-paced map. I mean, it takes place at a rich, fancy-pants mansion in Los Angeles. Raid had you fighting through courtyards, basketball courts, parking lots, fancy-pants building interiors, all perfectly funneled you the other side of the maps, towards opposing players through the fancy-pants garage with all the super expensive fancy-pants cars. Power positions, flanking routes, safe spawns. It didn't put you too far from the action, but it was there. Easter eggs, crazy grenade spots. Awesome sightlines for snipers, tight corridors for shotgunners, truly something for every playstyle on the map, and that's what made it so much fun. The trees in the courtyard. Raid was remade 7 billion times after Black Ops 2, but I don't blame the devs for it. I don't blame them for bringing it back because it really is one of the best maps in COD history, and out of all the maps available in Black Ops 2, I think this is the best. And if Black Ops 2 ends up getting ported, which it's going to, we're going to manifest this, you're going to get to experience why I think that. There you have it, my friends. Let me know 2 Black Ops 2 maps that didn't make it that could have, because there's a lot more that were really good. This was a really hard list. See you soon.